Oh, hello, how are you? It is the Melanated Air Hour. I really gotta get these sound effects under control because I feel like there should be some fireworks or something going off to let you know that we are here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock p.m. I am LaNée Javet. This is the Melanated Air Hour. I don't do this by myself. I do this with two co-hosts today at Keisha Ravenell at We Inspire Brand and Miss Teddy Ewing coming to us live from Egypt at The Real Teddy Talks. Today we are talking about, is your job a joke? Ha 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 ha. Three keys to successful career change. The jokey joke part is if you're not laughing at it and you're not happy about it, then it could be potentially a joke. And we want to give you three keys to help you make a successful career change, whether that's in the career that you currently have or in a career field that you want to go to. So if you are just tuning in, say hi, hello. Let us know where you're chiming in from. Let us know if this is your first time. Hey, Martez, I see you in the comments. Also, just let us know, are you happy with the current job that you have? Are you in the process of looking for a new job? If so, why? Do you want more money? Do you want more responsibility? Do you not like your boss? Is the commute too long? Or I love my job. I work for myself. I love my job. I love what I do. Tell us in the comments. We want to get a gauge for the audience. So we have three keys to successful career change. We're going to start with Keisha. Each one of us will be dropping a career key, if you will. And we'll start with Keisha and then we'll go around the room.
Hey, ladies. What's up, everybody? So, I don't know if you ladies know, I don't know if I mentioned it on the show before, but this was my career development. So, for 10 years of my life, I spent it in career development and higher education. So, y'all bringing me back to the job that I left, the job that I thought was a joke. You're bringing me.
Mhm, mhm.
But one of my keys, the key that I'm bringing to the table is you understanding your industry and how you fit into that industry. So you definitely want to do your research if you want to do a career change, if you want to do a job change, if you're just saying your job is a joke and maybe you want to be a full-time entrepreneur, whatever it is, you have to do research on this industry. And I used to tell my students, don't just pick an industry because you heard it makes a lot of money, right? Like, what is your purpose for going into this industry? How do you fit into it? What skills and abilities and experiences can you bring to this industry? So that is what, we can start with. I don't know if we're going to like go around and talk more about this or just talk about the keys that we're bringing and then elaborate.
No, I like that. So we'll go around the room. So we'll stick with your key for a hot second, which was knowing your industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's super crucial. And I think it goes both ways. So know the industry that you're in if you're going to be staying in that position or that career field and you're going to another one, because just because you're in the career field does not mean you know that industry. You could have landed in that job accidentally
Mm-hmm.
and now you want to do something different in that career field. So you need to really understand that career field. What other jobs are in that industry? How can you take your knowledge, your skill, what you do and know, and transfer it into something else if you want to stay in that industry? If you want to go into a different industry, same thing. How do you, with what I do, with what I know, with what I bring to the table, how can I transfer this to another industry that will make me happy?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I also think it's so important to know the people in your industry because that can help give you ideas for what else you can be doing. Because there could be a whole side to what you're doing. Like if it's a supply chain, I mean, anything that is almost exactly what you're doing, you know it in and out. You just don't know that this other piece exists until you start talking to people. And they're the people that are distributing that thing or bringing that thing, or they're taking the product and taking it out to other customers. So it's good to talk to people and just have a casual conversation. Take someone out to lunch, have coffee with them and chat them up at the water cooler, whatever, so that you can get some insight into what they're doing, what they're thinking. Because you would be surprised how much knowledge is right there in your work center waiting to be tapped.
Seriously, Teddy, that reminds me of the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And
Mhm.
what I used to teach, it's what you know and who you know, because someone is not going to just put you, well, we do have people like that, but typically they put you on because they know that you're good for the job. So it's what you know and who you know. You have to make sure you're networking within your industry. Another thing that I want to mention is when you do your research in the industry, make sure you're looking at what degrees you need, what certifications you'll need. Like I said, what skills are you going to need, what experience, because that's going to go into you putting that on your resume. That's also going to go into you selling yourself, right? When you go on an interview, you have to know the industry, and then you have to know how you fit into it. You have to know what you can bring to the table. So I like to say employers don't care about what you want, they care about what you can bring to the organization. And I know that sounds like what, like, but it's true. You know, they care about how you're going to contribute to the success of their organization. So make sure you know yourself, make sure you know your skills. You call it transferable skills. What skills can you bring from your current job, from your current career, and add it to the career that you're going into?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Knowing the ins and outs will save you so much time, effort, and it'll probably give you a lot more confidence than you had before because you know something intimately. Have you ever met someone that can just talk off top about things, especially the job, the ins and outs? I know I've worked in a job before and found out there was a piece to it that I just didn't know. And I'm like dealing with it every day, looking at contracts or whatever. And there's a whole side to this thing that I really just never tuned in because, like, I think those elite financier, she said she hates her job. It's soul sucking. If you're in something that's soul sucking, you're not going to like look at all the dimensions of it and really get in there deep with it. So you have to change the way you think about it to get out of it, right? You have to kind of maybe dive in a little bit, go deeper into the water to come back out of it more renewed, more knowledgeable, and find that next better gig.
Yeah, you know what? Who said it? I wanted to share it while I was sharing it. Angel. I think it's Angel. Angel Nasira Reads, I think it is. It's not who you know, it's who know you. And and that's very true. Because I love talking about networking, and I especially love talking about networking with Black people because we don't get networking right. When you're talking about doing research on the industry, knowing the industry that you're going into, knowing the right people in that industry is important. But like Angel said, them knowing you is also important. And this is where we get networking messed up. We go into these events looking to shake hands, kiss babies. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. Pass out your business card and you walk away. You didn't give that person an opportunity to get to know you. So how can I refer you business? How can I refer you employment? How can I tell you what's happening if I don't know who you are and what you do? So who knows you is also very important because if a job were to open or a business opportunity were to come up, or there was something that I could refer business to you, if I don't know who you are, if I don't know what you do, I can't do that. So it's mutually important, Angel. Thank you for bringing that up. It is who you know, and it's also who knows you and knows what you do and knows how you can add value to the career and knows how you can add value to the position, knows, how you operate. Those things are mutually important. So when you do the industry research, also know who those key players are, who can mentor you, who you can meet at a networking event, who can let you know when something's opening at a new career or a new job or employer that you want to go to.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on that, LaNée, there's an expression, I'm going to butcher the first part of it, but it says something to the effect of, like, your network should be or have friends that will mention you in a room full of opportunities, something like that. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but it basically means even if you're not there to represent yourself, there is someone in the room that's going to try to put you on for you in a room full of opportunities that may fit you. And to that networking piece, a lot of times our ride or dies are the people that we spend our most time with and our most attention to are not those people that are going to mention you in a room full of opportunities, or they're never in a room full of opportunities. So even if they would mention you, it ain't going to do no good.
Say that. Talk to people who are going to be in rooms with opportunities is what she said.
Good people cannot have the connections they need to put you on, right? So you have to understand what your professional contacts can do for you and make sure you're giving time to those relationships as well as maybe just your personal homegirl, homeboy type relationships, because both of those have to balance out. So you're not in a job that's got a bad lifestyle. I saw a truck driver earlier. He said he doesn't like the lifestyle, but it's probably good money. It's a good schedule. You're used to it, how it works. Maybe your family's used to it, but it ain't your thing. So you can do what you're not loving, but hopefully you can move on and move up to other things so that you can enjoy yourself. I mean, life is short, y'all. Tomorrow is not and never promised. So we have to live our best lives now and work our way up to where we feel good and we feel comfortable and we're like shining on the inside and the outside.
Yes. I wanted to mention two things. One, going back to LaNée's point, when you go to networking events. So you have to cultivate those relationships. So like LaNée said, it's not just about shaking hands and kissing babies. I had to repeat that.
That's my favorite phase. Where you about to go shaking hands and kissing babies? I'll be back in a minute.
It really is about nurturing that relationship. So when you get a business card, make sure you're following up. You know, don't just collect business cards and have them sitting on your desk. Send a follow-up email, you know, call them, right? Take them out for coffee, you know, something. So like I said, that's how you nurture those relationships. And then two, Angel mentioned a personality test. So there are a lot of personality tests out there, including the MBTI, which is the Myers-Briggs type indicator, the strong interest profiler. I don't even know if they call it that anymore, but you know, when I was working in the industry, that's what they called it. And it does help you identify, you know, what you enjoy doing and then connects it with different careers. So if you absolutely don't know what you want to do, but you know you want to get out of a job, or you know you want to enter a career, but you just don't know what, definitely look into those assessments.
Yeah, it's so funny you mentioned business cards. I have this because y'all know I'm retiring this year. Yeah, I have this binder that I bought. People hand me business cards because they think I'm magic. They think I can do things I can't do, right? So people are dying to hand me their business cards so they can get in contact with me. So we're trading business cards. Well, now that I'm on the hunt for the next thing, I kept them all. I've been keeping them for 2 years. And I'm going on LinkedIn and I'm make sure I'm connecting to some of these people, most of them actually. And, you know, just putting my face out there, making my name memorable. And when you're connected on LinkedIn, for those of you that aren't on LinkedIn, it is the thing. It is the thing now when it comes to corporate type, more professional careers. I would say white collar, maybe even a lot of blue collar if you're dealing with people. If you're dealing with people, LinkedIn is the thing. And connecting to these people and making sure that they at least know your name, see your face, can remember you and mention you, then that's also a good opportunity. So take it. Don't just take it, put it in a desk drawer. Take that business card, do something with it so that you have it when you need it as well.
Yeah. Yes. I have a list of tests, personality assessments that I posted in one of my groups. I'm trying to look for it. I will keep trying to look for it. If you guys hear me typing, it has like 6 of them. Some of them are for leadership. Some of them are personality. Some of them are job placement. There's like 8 of them that I've shared, and I'm looking for them. Hopefully I can find them. If I can't, we'll see what we could do. All right. So that was the first one. So the first one, can you repeat that for them, Keisha, so that they know what is one of 3 keys to successful career change?
Make sure you know the industry that you want to get into and how you fit into it.
Boom. So that's number 1. Okay. Teddy's going to hit us with number 2. What's the second key, Teddy?
Number 2, know your value, know your worth. That is so important. I said it before that a lot of us, and me included, I move through life fearful. So you're making decisions and not making decisions based from a place of fear. And that fear is exacerbated because you don't know your worth. You don't know. If you entered your job 10 years ago, I could almost bet that someone that's coming in after you is probably making more money than you, right? Because people don't talk about their salaries. So unless you're on an hourly kind of job, if you're on a salary job, you have no idea how much a person working right next to you, possibly doing the exact same thing with the exact same title, is making. So we're not talking about it. You're not networking because you're just in that JOB doing that thing and you're not conversing. So you're not figuring out how much people entering this industry are making. So it's a catch-22. Sometimes these college kids are getting paid much less than you, so you're trying to hold on to that bag. Then other times, people are getting paid more than you. Because this new generation, they are not loyal. They are not loyal. They will go, they're like, okay, thank you for the job. Don't let them offer something better 3 months later. Deuces, catch y'all later. What I need 2 weeks? Here's my 2 weeks.
Mhm.
If you're lucky, right? So you have to know not only what you are worth personally, your skills, your education, your experience, what you bring to the fight, what you bring to the corporation, but also what is someone who has your skills making, maybe at a different location. There's a lot of startups. There's a lot of people starting companies, opening their own businesses, getting angel investors, venture capital investors, and they're able to pay these salaries that other companies may not. And a lot of our companies are just stuck in the archaic time. So they think that a salary, 40,000, that's it. That's good. You can work your way up. Go. No, maybe that same job somewhere else is starting at 65,000, 70,000. But you will not know if you don't go on websites like Glassdoor and see what someone is making in your similar career field. Talk to people in your industry, someone who may be willing to kind of give you a tease of what they're making or just outright tell you because they don't care. And just have these conversations, getting networking groups so y'all can trust each other and talk about these things so that you can get paid your worth. And once you know what your worth is, you're more eager to go out there and get it. And then that fear starts to dissipate because you know you have a leg to stand on.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that value piece is important because a lot of times people will say in a position, in a job, in a business, it don't have to be a job. You can be in your business, you can be in a job. If you are employed in some kind of a way, you need to know your value, right? You have entrepreneurs out here that are underpricing themselves. So they're setting their prices too low because they don't know their value. You have people who have regular jobs and go to work who will take lower pay because they don't know their value. So knowing your value does not matter if you are an employee or an entrepreneur, you still need to know your value. How much should you be paid? How much is what you know worth? What do you bring to the table? And if you're not getting it, or you don't feel like you're getting the value that you need or deserve or require, then you need to make some changes. And that, like Teddy said, that might be in the place that you currently are and with the current employer, or that might be looking outside somewhere. And I forgot the exact term that Keisha used, but transferring that knowledge someplace else. And if you're an entrepreneur, that's it's the same thing. Transfer of audience, we'll call it, right? You need a different audience. You need some new people to talk to. You need new clients, so that you can get paid like you weigh, right? You want to make the money that you deserve. And so if you're not currently doing that, or you're not happy with what you're doing, then there's some changes that need to be made. One, you need to know your value. You need to understand your value, because how can you advocate for yourself or negotiate for yourself if you don't even know what you're worth?
Right. I would like to share a story because confidence is just so important. So one of my brothers, he has so much confidence. He also has the gift of gab. He only has, and I mean, I don't want to minimize it, but he has his GED. Now, this man has gone for positions that require degrees, and he has gotten it. So yeah, and I'm not saying like this will happen across the board for everyone, right? But he has such confidence in what he can bring to the table, and then he knows how to sell it, right? Like he knows how to tell the employer what he can bring to the table. So with the GED, he has been hired for, like I said, positions that require degrees, you know. So I'm just like, how'd you do that? And he's just like, look, like, I got it. Like
asking for it.
Yep, there you go.
Knowing its value.
Yep, exactly.
And as our co-host Faye Bishop would say, you got to get out your feelings. I think we're so terrified of what someone think about you or what they're going to say about you.
Yep.
These people some people go on job interviews for fun. Some people will take a job interview and they have no intention on leaving their current job just so they can see what it's like, see what kind of questions they ask, and see what kind of offer they may get. So that is how you have to look at it, like an opportunity. Don't look at it as like this nerve-wracking thing. And if you wait till you need to move, where you're just dry on the inside, then it's a necessity. Then you're putting all the stress in it. So it may be fun to do it on the side. And with all this pandemic stuff, people are Zooming interviews like crazy. You can just take a day off. You might even have to take 3 hours of PTO and you can do a job interview at home. So you're your only restriction. You can do it. You can get out there. You can see what it's like. Just try it. Experiment for a couple of days and see what happens.
And man,
don't be afraid of rejection. Like, I know we're talking about knowing your value, right? So sometimes you might not know how to articulate. Well, I really want to be paid 50,000, but they only offered me 40. Ask for 50. It's okay. What's what they can do? Say no. Like, don't be afraid of rejection. Not rejection in asking for the salary that you want, and not in rejection in going after the job that you want, even if you don't have everything that they require. Because, like Keisha said, you don't know which position will take a chance on you, right? And that's the same for an entrepreneur. Don't be afraid to throw that $5,000 invoice out there. If they say no, they're not your client. Don't be afraid to charge $99 for your service. If they don't pay it, then they're not your client. You can't be afraid of rejection, because if you do, you'll always play small in your career, play small in your life, play small in your business, play small in your relationships. Like, if you play small, you're going to play small. But if you play big, you'll always play big. The worst that somebody can do is tell you no. And if you do, why? It's okay to say, why wasn't I selected for this position? Well, why wasn't I, why is this service not for you right now? And let them tell you why. You know, you didn't present this way, or you missed this, or we're really looking for somebody who is stronger in here. Take that information. Like, all that stuff helps you grow.
Yeah.
And you know what? People always say everyone needs to have a lawyer friend and a doctor friend. Well, I think if you're in your network, you need to have an HR, someone, a human resource friend, and someone who is a recruiter, because you will get to hear all of the things. And like LaNée mentioned about that pay, if someone's offering you 40, they're always prepared to pay more. Always, 100% of the time. It's usually not about money. So when you start having these friends to tell you, girl, guess who we put on for this? And they asked for this and we gave it to them, you will be surprised. Yeah. So them friends you need to have around, even if it's just go out drinking and have a martini with kind of friend. Them are the friends you need to chat up.
That's right. You better negotiate. And also, as far as knowing your worth, don't feel like, oh, I hope they like me, right? It's not just about them. It's about you as well. So even if they do like you and they offer you the position, if you're not feeling the organization, you don't have to take the job, right? So make sure you know the environment. So if you're going back for a second interview, or they say they want to hire you, make sure you ask for a tour of where you're going to be working. You know, make sure you ask questions. You have to ask questions, because like I said, it's not just about them liking you and wanting to bring you on. You have to make sure this is something that is going to fit into your life. You spend most of your day at your job. You don't want to be miserable, and you don't want to hop from miserable to miserable. So you have to ask those key questions. Like I said, you have to, do those tours, ask to speak to, different employees that work there, and it really is imperative. So knowing your worth, don't accept things that you may not like just because it's offered to you.
Kelly, so I love your question, Kelly. I thought this network was about becoming a boss and not working for one. Great question. So here's the thing. It is, right? But it's about Black people. So it's about Black people, whether you are an entrepreneur or whether you have an employer, if you will, right? In my humble opinion, you're a boss at either place. Either you are the boss, let me phrase that, you should always be the boss. Whether you are going to a job or whether you are over your own employees, you should be a boss. And you need to know how to negotiate, and you need to understand your value. These 3 keys to having a successful career does not matter if you're an employer or if you are an entrepreneur. You still need to know your value. You still need to know how to negotiate for yourself. You still need to know how to get opportunities, whether you're doing it with your client or you're doing it with an employer. So the goal for the channel and for this conversation is not job or employee or employer specific. It's Black people specific. So whether you are an entrepreneur who needs to know how to get your value and charge what you're worth, or you're an employee who needs to know how to go in and negotiate to get paid what you're worth. In my humble opinion, everybody's an entrepreneur. Like, I don't care who you are an entrepreneur. I send my bill to my clients. You send your bill as a timesheet to your employer, right? You have a brand at work. I have a brand in the streets. Hopefully it's a good one, right? You know what I'm saying? Be careful how you use those streets analogies. You go in and negotiate with your employer to say how much you're going to get paid. I negotiate with my clients to say how much they're going to pay me. Like everybody is an entrepreneur. You negotiate, I negotiate. I get paid from somebody. I send somebody an invoice, they pay me. You send somebody a timesheet, they pay you. The difference comes in freedom. That's where entrepreneur and employment differ, right? We both show up, we both work, we both get paid by somebody else. It's just how we get paid by somebody else. And so there's a mindset difference, but there's a freedom difference. When I want to go on vacation, I'm like, deuces, I'll see y'all when I get back. The employee has to be like, hey, can I go on vacation? There's some freedom differences, right? But we're all entrepreneurs. And even as I say that, I still got to coordinate with my clients. Like, okay, I'm gonna go on vacation between here and here, so I can't take no clients here. So I got to get all my clients in. So it's still a negotiating thing. Can I see you that week? No, I'm on vacation. You know what I'm saying? So we're all entrepreneurs. We just send our invoices to somebody different.
And let me say, I'm sorry, Keisha, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and Kelly, just going back to knowing your worth, I want you to feel like a boss in any room that you step in.
Yes.
So if you are a custodian, if you are the CEO, whatever you are, know your worth, know what you can bring to the table, and you do it the best. And that is you and you being the boss in your own right. There are people that can't do what you do. Right. Mm-hmm. So that means you are the boss. If the CEO could do certain things, then the CEO probably would be doing it, but they hired you to do it. So know that you are the boss in every room that you step in. Have that confidence.
Yeah. And as much as I talk about departure from the 9 to 5, sometimes it's an investment in your future. For me specifically, my time in the military was always an investment in my future. So when I hang it up at the end of this year, I get a check for the rest of my life. And I happen to die soon, then my husband gets half of that check for the rest of his life. And most jobs are not providing that. So sometimes you have to sacrifice having that boss, that job, and asking for that time off, just so that you can set yourself up for the future and add to your multiple streams of income. So it's always important that we value everyone's lot in life, because some people, even though people are entrepreneurs, they may not feel it. They may not have the confidence, the courage, the network, the funding, whatever it is to get started. So in the meantime, here we are.
There's nothing wrong with having a job.
No,
there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I know that there are those people out there that shit on people that aren't entrepreneurs. Everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. And if nobody has told y'all that, I'm just going to tell you. Everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Everybody should have a side hustle. Everybody should have something to help their income, and everybody should have multiple revenue streams, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. If you do and you are, more power to you, and I congratulate you, because I truly believe that Black economic empowerment is going to come through entrepreneurship. I do have that belief, and it's the reason why I've dedicated my life and my business to supporting and helping Black entrepreneurs, because I truly believe that our economic empowerment and our freedom is going to come through having our own businesses and employing our own people. So some people have to work, right? Some people have to work, but just because you work, you should, like Tisha said, you should still be the boss. You should still be respected. You should still have a brand. You should still be able to turn your invoice in, timesheet, you know what I'm saying, and get paid what you're worth. You should still be happy. Your job should still give you the lifestyle that you want to live. You know what I'm saying? So just because you have a job does not mean you shouldn't be happy and not get paid well. And doesn't mean you shouldn't still be a boss. So. Yeah. Well, my supplemental income gig. So like Teddy said, sometimes your job has to support you. When I had my last job, I used to call it my supplemental income gig. So that my entrepreneur side hustle at the time was my job. And I went to work to supplement my income. So even though I went to work every day from 8 to 5, they didn't own me mentally. That was my supplemental income gig to fund my entrepreneur efforts.
That's right.
It's some of its mindset.
Yeah. I actually just did a reel last week, and it said, you don't have to quit your job. So we live in a world right now where everybody's like, quit your job, become a full-time entrepreneur. That's how you're going to make all your money, and that's how you're going to become successful and financially free. And that's not necessarily true, right? Mm-hmm. You become financially free by having those multiple streams of income. So you can, like LaNée said, you can have your job and then start your business on the side. So that's what I did with my t-shirt business. I actually loved my job at the time that I started my t-shirt business. I just wanted a way to make more money because I was shopping a lot and traveling and going to brunches every weekend. So I'm like, I need more money. So you don't have to quit your job, especially if you love it, right? Like if you love your job, if you love the industry that you're in, but you're looking for a way to make more money, that's when you start, you know, the business on the side.
Yeah.
Yes. So that leads us to point number 3. But before we go to point number 3, let me backtrack to point number 2. Teddy, can you repeat point number 2 for us?
So number 2 is know your value, know your worth. That will always give you the courage you need to move forward in whatever that job change is going to be.
Boom. So number 1 was, what was number 1, Keisha?
Number 1 was you must understand your industry and how you fit into it.
All right. And then number 2 again, Teddy, was?
Know your worth and know your value.
Boom. Okay. So you got number 1, we got number 2. I was able to find those leadership assessments I was telling you guys about.
Oh, yeah.
So one of them is called the Colby Index. The other one is called How to Fascinate. I'm going to post them in the chat right now. Another one is called Strengths Finder. The other one is called the Entrepreneur Profile. It will help you if you're an entrepreneur, understand your personality and either to become an entrepreneur, or if you're an entrepreneur, how to be a better entrepreneur. And then the last one is the 16 personalities. It's the one that does the Myers-Briggs. So I put it in the chat and it should go on every single page that we're on. So if you are, doesn't matter where you are tuning into this broadcast, I literally just posted it on every single one. If you're interested in any type of personality assessment, okay, they're there. So I'm going to come in with key number 3. And it's kind of overarching, but number 3 is know your desires. Real simple. Mm-hmm. Know your desires. Yeah. If you are thinking of, if you know you don't like your job, you don't like the lifestyle, you don't like the money, then when you start thinking about what a career change looks like, know your desires. What type of a job do you want to have? What type of a job do you want to do? Where do you see your career going? Because don't go getting a job that's dead end. If you know that ultimately you want to be, I think somebody said they want to go into management. If you ultimately know that you want to go into management, don't go getting a customer service gig that's going to have you on the phone. Like, who do you want to manage? Where do you want to manage them at? How much do you want to get paid? And then find out what company that is and start in that business, in that organization. Like, what is your end result? What is your end desire? If you want to do a real career change, right? So what's the job title? What kind of responsibilities do you want to have? What are the requirements of that job? I already talked about growth. Like, how are you going to be able to grow in this business or in this industry or at this employer? And I'll do it for entrepreneurs too, Angel. I'll do it on the other side for entrepreneurs. Let me do employers, and then I'll do entrepreneurs too. What's the salary that you want, right? A lot of times, and especially because we're getting jobs out of necessity. So we're going in there thinking, I just need to work. No, ma'am. No, sir. Know your salary. Like, know what you desire when you walk in that door. Put it on the glass, as they say. Mm-hmm. I want 50,000. Willing to negotiate, right? Because we don't know if it's starting at 45, is it starting at 55? Does it come with perks? Do you get a card? Do you get a phone? Are they paying your bills? Like, we don't know those things. So we need to get in the door to find out what other things are coming with our benefits package, because we may take this much because they're doing that. So, but you need to know what your desires are before you walk in the door. Mm-hmm. Salary, and then your lifestyle. I saw somebody talk about lifestyle. Yes, that's crucial. And that's important when you're talking about where you're going to be working every day. Do they want 8 hours or do they want 10? I forget who somebody said it. They're sucking the soul out of me. Like, we do not want to change jobs to have our soul sucked. Yeah. I'm about to take the conversation someplace else. I'm going to leave it right there. I was going to say that too. No soul sucking. So let me flip this for entrepreneurs, just to make sure that we stay with people who have a business. It's the same as a business owner. If you want to be in a successful career in your industry, in your business that you run, you still have to know your desires, right? Mm-hmm. Who do you want to serve? What type of clients or customers do you want to have? What money should they make so that you can charge your value? right? If you know that your product or your service is a higher ticket item, let's say, $500 or something like that, then you have to know the type of client that you desire to pay $500 for what you offer. You have to know that. If not, you will pander to people who only have $100, $150, $200, and then you'll be miserable. You'll be wondering, how come I'm not making money? How come nobody's paying me what I'm worth? Because you weren't strategic in setting the desires for your business. The same with how you're going to grow your business. You have to know that. And at year 1, I want to be here. At year 3, I want to be here. At year 5, I want to be here. You have to know the desires for your growth, your salary, and your lifestyle. If you're an entrepreneur and you are not happy with the lifestyle that you have, and you got into this business to be free, but you're working 12 hours a day and you still aren't seeing your family and your husband, then you are not doing business right. So you have to know your desires to be successful in your business, or do a change. It doesn't have to be a business change or even a career change, but there's some things you need to tweak. Maybe an assistant, maybe outsourcing, maybe getting up earlier, maybe putting time management into place. I mean, there's things that you want to tweak in order to be able to do it successfully. So that was for Angel, making sure we cover it on employee and entrepreneur. Like, hey, I'm a business owner, but I still want to make sure that I'm successful in my career. So I'm going to let the other ladies.
Tim Jackson said, I tuned in right at the soul sucking. He said, what's the topic? So the topic
what's up, Lou? Jackson, y'all, he is in Texas. He is one of the dopest real estate. I think he's an investor now, but he is super dope. He said, I tuned in.
Anytime we say JOB, sometimes that's synonymous with soul sucking. But that's what we're trying to change.
Yes.
So keys to, I can't see the whole title. To successfully change your career. I don't know what it is. But that is it. That is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So that is a good point, LaNée. I think Keisha hit it too. We always are wondering what someone wants from us, what someone needs from us. Will they like me? Will it be this, instead of saying, I want this. I need this. And when you're in position, especially in a career change, depending on when you're changing, like me after 25 years, I have a lot of value that I bring. I know my value, I know my worth. So I ain't just going for the okie doke. Like, I'm gonna get exactly what I want, or I'm not taking it. And why am I not taking it? Because I don't have to. Like, I'm doing this to hit my own personal goals. All this extra stuff I'm doing is to reach additional personal goals. But the basis, the foundation is laid them 25 years before. So I'm going to have my time off. You ain't going to treat me any kind of way. I'm going to have respect. I'm going to have people that I can talk to. And I'm not like I feel that bad energy every time I walk in the office or whatever it is. I mean, that's it. Or it's not going to happen. And that takes time to get there. Of course, everybody can't do that. But that is what we're working towards, to where you are your own boss. No matter what room you walk in, you're the boss of your situation.
That's right.
And we are the boss of our situation, even if you work in a McDonald's. You can work at McDonald's down the street, up the corner, 5 streets up. So if your manager talking funky to you, saying, you know what, not today.
Bye.
And you move on to the next one. Go to Burger King, go to Taco Bell, whatever it is.
That's right.
You have power.
That's right.
You can have it your way.
Yes. Yes.
They try to pretend like you can't. Like people try to make it seem like if you're an employee, you can't have it your way. You can. You just have to be diligent and intentional. But you literally can.
Yeah.
Chris MC, she says, thank you for this information. I can attest to not having a degree, but working in management positions, which calls for one. Networking played a huge part. And she said, how do you grow your t-shirt business? Chris, you better come talk to me, girl.
Send me the right place at the right time.
Send me a DM, Chris, at We Inspire Brand. Let's get you building on your t-shirt business. I also just wanted to mention, in addition to your desired salary, know what benefits you want. So sometimes people just focus on salary, but then they're not getting the benefits that they want and need for their family. So, for example, my last job, my healthcare benefits were trash. Like, it was so bad to the point where, I had to come out of pocket for a lot of things. So it didn't really matter, that my salary was something. I'm coming out of pocket anyway for something else. So don't let these jobs trick you when it comes to these benefits. Like, yeah, I'll offer you this, I'll offer you that. But these benefits, you're not really getting nothing over here. So also know, like, in addition to healthcare, also know how much vacation time you want and need. You know, if you have a family, consider the sick time. Like, so all of these things play a role into your desire.
And let's talk stock options, y'all. If y'all want to these Fortune 500,000 companies that are publicly traded, they need to be offering you a piece of that company. There's no way that they should be offering their company to the public and not offering it to the people that are helping support and build and grow that company. And that is invaluable into the future. So always take the stock options so that you can have an investment in that company. So even if you leave it, you still have that investment in that company that's going to grow.
That investment is crucial. Yeah. When I left my job, I left with $50,000. That's how I started my business. I cashed out my 401k and took my little $50,000 with me. But we start talking about how to fund your dreams.
Yes.
While you're at that supplemental income gig, let them match. You put whatever you're going to put in. Let them match it.
That's
and be thinking about your plan, your exit strategy, as Teddy would say. That exit strategy is not just for entrepreneurs looking to leave their business. That's for employees looking to leave their current position and go into a new one, or leave and go into a entrepreneurship. But you should have an exit strategy.
That's right.
I was about to say something. Oh, Sam Cooley. I like this question. How do you create an invoice when your business isn't registered? Ooh, this is a two-part answer for you, Sam. Why isn't your business registered? That's the first one. Your business should be registered. This is a real talk conversation. So I'm going to tell you the truth. You can literally send an invoice if your business is not registered, but your business should be registered. The point is, your business, I need us Black people to operate legitimate, legal, fully structured businesses. Okay. I am a networker. The Phoenix Suns call me, SRP calls me, Tito's Vodka calls me, PayPal calls me, NASCAR calls me, and they ask me, do you know any Black-owned businesses that we can do? Boom, 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 boom. I send them businesses, and do you know what they say to me? They're not properly set up. They don't have an EIN. They don't have a business bank account. It's hard to send business to Black-owned businesses if we are not going to operate properly. So please do register your business. Please do register your business.
Please. It doesn't cost that much. Sometimes it doesn't, depending on how you're set up, it might not cost you almost anything, depending on what state you're in. And it just legit, like LaNée said, when you're dealing with somebody real and they want to do business with you, the first thing they're going to do is that, now I'm losing my, it's a W-9, and they need that EIN number. And if you don't have an EIN, and they're like, oh, okay, never mind then. They need to know that the IRS needs to know who they're paying their money to, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
To answer your question, Wise, is it Wise? No, not Wise. I'm sorry. Wave, you can create invoices. QuickBooks, you can create invoices. Almost any accounting software, you can create invoices.
Right.
You can do it. But let's get legit, baby.
Yeah. And going back
to do it. Heck, earlier. If somebody that doesn't even have a business can send one, but we want you to look good, to be good, you're representing, you're B1. You're out here representing us. So you want to work together.
And going back to what you said earlier, LaNée, about building a community and creating jobs for the community, if you're not a legitimate business, how are we going to bring more people on? Like, how are we going to create these jobs for our community? So make sure you're legit, people.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Uniqua says, what do you think about MWBE, which is minority recognition?
And there's a Black enterprise. Yeah.
There's multiple. That's just one of them. I think that's the minority some business enterprises.
Minority woman Black enterprise. I know in Georgia it's just minority Black enterprise, I think.
There's a couple of them. There's MBDA, there's a few. I think there's like 4 or 5 different Black and or minority designations. I'll let everybody answer because I don't know how everybody feels about this. If you're doing government contracting, a necessity, because it puts you to the front of the line, right? So if you're doing government contracting, a necessity. If you're not doing government contracting, it's nice to have. You don't need it, but it's nice to have, because when you start talking about sponsorships and you start talking about affiliate deals and you start talking about being an ambassador, having that designation will help for you to go to a Marriott, for example. Let's say you want to get your travel sponsored and you want Marriott to be the organization that sponsors your travel, you can say that you are recognized as a blah, 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 blah minority business. And now that makes their ears pop up because most of these major corporations have some type of diversity and inclusion initiative.
Absolutely.
Or something that they say that they're going to donate to or do business with minority businesses. So if you let them know automatically that you're one of those businesses, they like that because now they're meeting their objectives. So if you're doing government contracting, a necessity. If not, it's nice to have. You don't need to have it, but it's nice to have.
And I just want to second, like kind of piggyback on that and say, not just government contracting, but state, county, city contracts as well. That will be useful. But other than that, what LaNée said perfectly. Yes.
I don't know what's going on in the comments.
It says, sisters, can y'all come to the mosque to find husbands and court us? Okay, let's see. Sanford says, when trying to operate as a legitimate business, stop doing your own taxes and hire a real CPA. Stop using your cousin who promises she can get you more money back. That is, I do highly recommend using professionals once you have a business. Actually, I mean, you should always use a professional, but once you get into the business world, talk to people who understand taxes.
Yeah.
Here goes another question. Hello, ladies. I'm working on starting a business in 2022. Can you tell us again what we need to have a legit business? I heard an EIN, a business bank account. What else is needed? So the first thing is getting, registering the business. I mean, that's super crucial. You want to register your business. Like Teddy said, every state's different. I've seen it as low as $35 up to $700.
Mm-hmm.
And it really just depends on your state. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's just $50 here. So get your business registered first. Definitely one of the things I usually tell my clients to do is check your name, see if it's trademarked someplace. If it's not, buy the domain, see if that's available. If that's available, then register your business. Because I've seen people register their business name and then go to get the domain and it's already taken, or register their business name and then check if somebody's already had a trademark. So do your research first, then register your business, secure your domain, get your EIN, open up your business bank account. Those are like the structural things. You could do a trademark if you need to, or register the business, which is different. Trademarking your business and getting a registered trademark are two different things. It's the difference between the TM and the circled R. Those are two different classifications. One is local and one is national. Mm-hmm. And then anybody else want to jump in?
I'll say definitely know the ins and outs of your business. Like you got to do your market research. I think before even do all that, do some market research and see whatever industry you're trying to start is an industry that you would fit well in, and you can find the holes that need filling in that industry. Because you don't want to go into an oversaturated industry. You don't want to go into an industry that has people doing this thing, but then there's one part of it no one's ever doing. If you want to make money, which I hope that is, that's why I like to start businesses. I want to help people too, but I like to make money. Then you want to fill the hole so that you can get fill where no one's at. That's where you can bloom and blossom. So that's definitely one addition to that. Before you do all that, see if it's a place you even really need or want to be.
Yes. And I would just like to add, you may want to look into getting a virtual address if you don't have a business address, so that you don't have to use your personal address. Banks and lenders, they take you more seriously that way. And just going back to doing your research on what you need. So like, for example, I'm in New York. And for New York, when you get your LLC, you also need to do a publication. So in addition to the fee that I paid for my LLC, I had to pay to be published in the newspaper for, I forget what it is now. It's like once a day for 6 weeks and then once a week for 6 weeks or something like that. So every state, like the lady said, is different. So definitely do your research.
That is so archaic.
We used to have to do that. We don't have to do that anymore. We used to have to do the public posting.
Yeah.
Do it anymore.
It's so annoying.
That is so archaic. That is so 1955. Like, I don't know what that is about.
Who's looking at a newspaper? Like, seriously.
Publishing a newspaper. All right, this is our last one, and we'll take Kelly. I want to add, which this is going to add to what Keisha just said. So I have my LLC, but not really clear if I need a DUNS number, Duns and Bradstreet. Can you please explain the significance of having a DUNS number? So this is going to I'm going to piggyback to what Keisha just said about having a virtual address. So there's two pieces to that. You can have a virtual address, but a lot of times when you're registering your business, they're going to want you to have a registered agent. And we don't have the time to go into that, but when you're registering your business, they want to make sure that if they have to send you legal mail, that there's somebody there to accept it for you, or sign for it between 8 and 5. So if you are using a virtual address, you have to make sure that it's at a business that has open doors between 8 and 5, which is a lot of times why they'll do a registered agent, but check and see what your state requires. Now, how that ties into the Duns and Bradstreet question. You have to have a physical address in order to do Duns and Bradstreet. Duns and Bradstreet is what you use for business credit. So your question was, do you need to have a Duns and Bradstreet number? It's really one of those answers where it's like, it's up to you, but I highly recommend it because I think Black-owned businesses should really start looking at business credit, utilization of business credit. When you think about, Trump and his kind, they use business credit. Like, he don't pay for his house, he don't pay for his car, he don't pay for his lunch and all these things because he has business credit. So a lot of these things your business can pay for. When you think about how much money you make versus how much money the business makes, you can use your business credit to finance and do a lot of those things. So it doesn't hurt your personal credit, it doesn't hurt you personally. So I do recommend getting a Duns and Bradstreet number. Again, it's just adding validity to your business, but it's not a necessity. You don't have to have it. You have to have an EIN, or you should have an EIN. Your Duns and Bradstreet number is not a have to, but it's high level business.
And if you get into government contracting and you're registering in sam.gov, you have to have one. So in that case, you will need that DUNS number. But outside of that, it's just nice to have, definitely.
Yes.
And OG is asking, clarify what a virtual address is. It's just an address that's like those, like a UPS store, right? So there's a virtual address company will buy up boxes or address at a real business, but it's really just like a UPS store. And they're collecting the mail so that it's not coming to your home, so that when you're a public record, your business is not attached to your personal home. And it's just a business address. So it separates your business side from your personal side.
And that's the answer for Uniqua as well. For the LLC, you have to post your address, what Teddy just said.
Yeah.
You have to post the business
public.
You don't want
public record. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Uniqua says, this has been amazing information. Thank you. You are so welcome. We love having these conversations. Okay, so I know I said that was the last one. Dennis, I'm going to answer this question for you. We're going to be done. How my credit is in the upper 600s, and I know it ain't great, but I can't even get a secured credit card with $300 or $1,000. There are two companies that you can get a credit card with that credit score. One is called First Progress. It's a secured card. Whatever dollar amount you send them is what credit they give you. But also Discover. Discover has a card that's called, I forget what it's called, but it's like a get started card. And they will give you a card for like $500. I think it's like $500. And if you do good with that for 8 months, they'll up it to $1,500. I literally got all of my 3 credit scores up over 700 because I'm about to buy I'm about to buy a new house. But let's say a year ago, maybe my credit was like, I don't know, probably low 600s. And I got that First Progress card. I got hired a credit specialist, and she was like, get this card and just pay it every month. And I literally would charge my Canva account $12.95 every month. I pay it for like 6 months. And my score went up like 45 points. I was like, oh, hell. Got me another card. She was like, do it again. Got this Discover card. And I was like, okay, I got the little Discover card. She was like, just pay it for like, 5. She didn't even know about this. I put her on the Discover card. Got the little Discover card, paid it every month for like 6 months straight on time, just doing like a $20 here, $20 there. And it went up another like 50 points. Before I know it, all 3 of my credit scores, every single one now is over like 730 in like a year. So just don't use it. Get it, pay it every month on time for like 6 months, get another one, do it on time for like 6 months, and your score will be like over 700. Now, I don't have anything bad on there either. Like I don't have any debt. I don't owe anybody anything. So I should say that. I don't want to mislead you. Other than student loans, other than that. But yeah, that little whatever that little trick is with the credit card and paying, that it works.
And don't have any missed payments. A missed payment will take a perfect credit score down 40, 50, 60. One missed payment. So if you did accidentally miss a payment, call them up. Be like, look at my history. I've never missed a payment before. Please credit that back to my account. And then when they do that, it won't show up as a missed payment on your credit. Yeah, it's a hit. It's a hit. We need to do a whole show on.
We can do a credit show.
We need to have an expert on here and tell them how to prepare that credit because that's a big issue. Because you can't get anything if your credit ain't good. People don't know why their credit's not good.
Right.
Make it better. So yeah.
Yes.
Another day.
All right. So we're gonna go back around the room. We're gonna give you guys those 3 points one more time before we go. Dennis, the first one was first progress. First progress. I have my aligners in today, guys. So you guys have my aligners in today. I'm trying to talk over it. So go back around the room. For those of you that maybe just be tuning in, we're going to go back around the room and give you those 3 keys for a successful career change, starting with number 1, which was from Keisha.
So the first one is you must know the industry you're trying to get into and how you fit into it. So do your research, know what degrees, certifications, skills that you need, and then, of course, know yourself, right? Know what skills and experiences you bring to the table and what transferable skills you have. The transferable skills is what you can bring from one industry to another.
Transferable skills, that's what it was. Okay.
Yes.
And then Miss Teddy Ewing, number 2.
The second one is know your value, know your worth. You are not what you get paid. So know what someone like you can bring to the fight. What can you offer in skills, education, experience, breadth of experience? And also know what people in your same position, maybe at your same company, firm, or in a similar industry working that same position is getting paid. People just coming in, people that have been there 5-10 years, use websites like Glassdoor, get into your networks, have HR friends who are gonna give you the dish on what people are getting paid so that you know if you have a competitive salary or not. Because you could easily just job hop into the same job in another place and make tons more money. So check that out. Know your value, know your worth. Stop moving in fear.
I love that. Okay. And number 3 is just to know your desires. Go into whatever the next career is for you or the next business opportunity, really knowing what your desires are. What title do you want? What clients do you want? What job responsibilities you want to have? Where you see your career, your business going so that you can account for growth in that. What the salary is that you want to make or how much you want to charge. And then also what kind of lifestyle you want to have. Like you don't want to go into a position that's going to suck the soul out of you. You need to know that. If you want to have more time freedom, you need to know that. So think about what you desire when you're thinking about this career change or what it is that you're going to be walking into next. Okay?
Absolutely.
Love it.
All right. We thank you so much for tuning in to Melanated Air today. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us on Melanated Air. We're on YouTube. You can also go and follow us each individually. You can catch Keisha Ravenell on Instagram and other platforms at We Inspire Brand. Please go follow her there. Also, Teddy Ewing, you can catch her at The Real Teddy Talks. And you can follow me at I am LaNée Javet on all social media platforms. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for tuning in today. Again, please go and subscribe to the Melanated Air podcast talk show on YouTube. And we will see you guys on Thursday. As always, continue to be blessed, stay Black, and be one.
Be one, baby.
See you later.